talking about Neptune through the 12 signs of the zodiac. And if you have your Neptune and Capricorn, then this is your video. So, a lot of astrologers believe that Neptune is exalted in Cancer, and rightly so, because Cancer and Neptune are deeply associated. Okay, I'll get into that later. So every time a planet is exalted in a particular sign, in the opposite sign, it is in detriment. So a lot of astrologers hold true that Neptune is in detriment in Capricorn. What does that mean? That means that Neptune cannot function smoothly and give away its energy fluidly in Capricorn. Now, what is the energy of Neptune all about? Now, the frequency of Neptune is 211.44 hertz, and if you listen to it, then I mean, it happens for me. Okay, I am a Pisces moons and very strong Neptune signature in my natal chart. So I am immediately transported to a world of imagery, fantasy, fiction, daydreaming, lucid dreaming, past life visions, meditative brilliance, connecting to parallel worlds. So this frequency of Neptune can do that, and rightfully so, because Neptune is all about those things. The fairy tale, the mystery, the celluloid. Neptune rules cinema. So all these things that basically dissolve boundaries falls under the jurisdiction of Neptune, like oil, alcohol. It also rules mental asylums. If you think about the indigenous view or shamanic view of mental illness, you will see that mental illness is not something to be stigmatized. It is in fact a different kind of spiritual awakening. So Neptune rightfully rules lunacy as well as spiritual awareness. Okay, because once you're not in this everyday awareness of experiencing life as 1 plus 1 it's equal to 2, you step into the domain of Neptune. It's the twilight zone, of course it is, because it is not something that your five senses can comprehend. It is not tangible. It's not something you can grasp or hold on. It's something you feel, something you intuit. Neptune is all about intuition, mysticism, occultism, spiritual awareness, and stuff like that. Mm, It's everything that takes you away from this world of phenomena and shows you that, look, there are other worlds out there, other parallel realities, parallel universes, bleeding into each other, exchanging information, stuff that we know nothing about in our 3D awareness. Okay, now there's a myth about, of course, Neptune is Poseidon in the Western myths and Varuna in the Vedic myths. Now, Kronos, that is Saturn, swallowed Poseidon. And why is that? In esoteric parlance, we understand that the energies of Uranus and Neptune don't really reach the earth without Saturn swallowing them whole or confiscating them. Saturn is truly the final dispositor of the 3D matrix. Okay, and he does not let anything filter through that is not going through his domain. And Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, which is all about boundaries, and Neptune is about dissolving these boundaries. Therefore you can understand how this particular planet is in detriment in this sign. Okay, as in, how is Neptune to understand one, love, empathy, compassion for all, sacrifice. If there are rigid structures, patriarchal, rigid Saturnian structures that are probably redundant. Okay, so there's a quote, the Neptune, that I want to read to you. It's by Sri Aurobindo, one of the greatest saints from Bengal, and he says that life is life, whether in a cat, dog, or man. Okay, this differentiation is created for man's own advantage. So there is no difference. And this is the very ethos of Neptune, that all life is sacred, all life is beautiful, all life is relevant, all life is important. Even the world of your imagination. Okay? Now, Neptune is Mayavic. Okay, it's illusory. And HPB or Blavatsky says so, and says Neptune's not even from our solar system. Okay? It's got a lot of karma with us, because the Tibetan, who's also a spiritual master, ascended master, he said that in this world period and in a peculiar manner, Neptune is esoterically known as the great initiator. And what do you think Neptune initiates? Spiritual awakening. And Capricorn, you are Saturn's child. Esoterically, exoterically, are ruled by Saturn. Gives you the most strong uh, Saturn signature, and you're not about emotions, and Neptune's all about emotions, deep soul penetrating emotion. So I mean, there you can understand the problems that can occur with that. Okay, when is emotion necessary? When is a cold, detached attitude necessary? Too much of everything is bad. The right balance. That's why all energy is dualistic, and all energy has different shades, different nuances that we must work through. Okay, and Neptune rules the feet and the pineal gland. Okay, and Saturn rules all of our, like our hair, our skeletal structure, bones, and teeth. So interestingly, this is about the pineal gland and the feet. So anything that stimulates your pineal gland, whether it be Tratak, as when you bring your awareness here and you stare there, or be it foot reflexology while you mentally visualize. All kinds of visualization also falls under the jurisdiction of Neptune. You know, all those violent balls and all that kind of spiritual visualization that we do. It's all under Neptune. That's why I've heard a lot of Neptune and Capricorn people tell me that, oh my God, I'm not great at visualization when I work with them and I'm taking them through a meditation model. They're like, no, I'm not great with visualization. But I mean, think about it. If you concentrate, you can do it, because after all, you're about manifestation. And if you have a particular brand of ideology or spirituality, you can truly um, create wealth with it. You know, if you have an idea that you've come up with, or something you figured out in the spiritual world that Neptune's helped you figure out, you can really concretize it, because wherever there's Capricorn, there's always this idea that, okay, there's always this energy that, okay, now you can concretize it, you can make it earth, you can feel it, you can touch it. Okay, that's what Capricorn is. And Neptune's like, oh, you can't touch, you can feel everything, diaphanous, everything that is like oil, alcohol, you can't hold them, there are no boundaries. That's Neptune, dissolving everything. Now, as I said, with the high vibration of Neptune, it's all about spirituality, esotericism, mysticism, meditation. But in the lower vibes, it's about lies, seduction, deception, uh, you know, stuff like that. So depending, it can be escapism, drugs. Okay, now a lot of people with prominent Neptune signatures often, if they're imbalanced or have hard aspects that they've not worked through, then they can give in to the temptation of escapism through drugs or alcohol, or just overeating, because you know Capricorn has a truly indulgent side to it. And even with Neptune, things can be taken to an extreme. So extreme materialism for a sake of that, okay, I want to look like this, I have an image, I want to be that, so I will spend loads of money on that. That can also be Neptune. Neptune's anywhere you deceive yourself. Neptune's also the trauma that you feel. You know, a lot of astrologers and I strongly believe that wherever Pisces sits in your chart, there is inner trauma, inner outer, whatever, there's trauma to be had there. So Neptune sitting in Capricorn, whatever house that is for you, is going to definitely help you imagine a better 3D world if you are well vibed with this. Will help you bring in that fantasy element into the real 3D world. So people may gravitate towards you, because you know you take them out of this mundaneness, because although you're not like tremendously imaginative or tremendously, you know, drifting off into other parallel worlds like say Neptune and Pisces might, but you are still very heavily into fantasy, because wherever Neptune sits in your chart, you are going to visualize, you're going to daydream. Lucid dreaming is a big part of this energy. Any kind of past life work, enemies. Neptune also rules enemies. So, Capricorn, you are the archetype of the boss, and it's known that you can have a lot of enemies. So, especially if this is your sixth house, then be careful. Neptune there, and depending on what aspects it's making. Um, Enemies might attack, so there are ways to balance that, and everything is about balance. The key to the 3D world is about balance, but the Neptune is here to tell us that hey, there is no balance, because here you are trying so hard to go by life and balance everything, a bit of this, a bit of that, but Neptune's like, fuck that, all is one, everything is one, that thou art. Tattvamasi, quantum entanglement. There is no divisiveness, there is no separation. It's just this eternal dreams that coalesce into dreams. Okay, think of inception, a dream and a dream and a dream, and the point of inception, and the freakish detailing that happened in that film. I think that's what really caught us off guard, because there is no distinction between dream and reality. With Capricorn, you don't like it that way. You want a clear distinction, you want boundaries, you want structure. You're Saturn's own child. So find that structure, and when necessary, let go of that structure. Remember, no one lives forever, and nothing lasts forever. So all you can do is love, said the great philosopher Rabindranath Tagore. That was a bit about Neptune and Capricorn. I hope you like that video as much as I like making it for you. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share means so much. And let me know what you think. And visit my website www.tinahits.com.